welcome to another film talk episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the long-awaited
a
one.
long-awaited one because we are going to talk about the absolute best film of this year, Dune, by Denis Villeneuve. We
Yeah,
both
Denis enough. He just comes and strikes again a home run.
absolutely
Do you say it like that? Yeah, okay.
strikes a
Yeah,
home run.
yeah.
No, you like home run is
You
like
you hit a home
you
run.
hit a home run. Yeah.
You have a strike. Oh
Oh
God.
God, what a start.
Uh, what a great start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um. Like
So
before we dive deep into the movie, or we hope to dive deep into the movie, let's just throw out some quick thoughts.
yeah.
Uh,
So me and Josh, we have very different experiences because Josh is actually a bookworm and read the book, and I didn't. But still, I would. I think it's kind of surprising that we both enjoyed the movie. It's on, both very overwhelmingly were positive.
yeah.
I think, yeah. So, I did go completely blind with friends, and I was pleasantly surprised how good it is. Just the visuals, the set design also,
Mhm.
and also like the score by Hans Zimmer is also really great. And, but the thing is, even though I got the general plot, what the details are do fade away a bit for me. So it's been a while since we both watched the film. I mean, this podcast episode has also been long overdue.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I've got more of an lasting awe
Mhm.
of the
Yeah.
movie than anything specific.
Yeah, and I too was kind of surprised that you really liked it because the movie, like having read the book, I can safely say that the movie is not the most accessible one. But I guess that's just
The book
the book
or
and
the
the
movie?
movie.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
the
okay.
book is far more complex because it's a
Yeah,
book
I
and
heard it's really dense.
it's really really dense. And I mean
Like, doesn't it have its own glossary at the end
yeah,
on
kind of
terms?
a
Oh
little
my goodness.
Silmarillion like that of a lot of the rings. And just a fun
Mm.
fact, there was a Dune movie in 1984 by
Yeah,
Lynch, right? So
yeah,
what they
yeah.
did when screening the film the first time was handing out like little sheets of kind of notes where the terms were listed so that the movie goers could basically, double check
Mm.
the names on the list to, not forget who that guy was or what that term meant. And this was actually the only time something like this was handed out in a movie theater.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know if I would call that a cinematic experience
yeah,
then.
yeah. And I guess that's kind of the 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 talent or the ability of Denis Villeneuve to basically render this film available, to the general
Mm-hmm.
audience who really
Yes.
hasn't read the book and has no idea what the thing is about, and to those who actually read the book and know all the details. So
Mm.
it's just really fascinating how Denis Villeneuve made that compromise,
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, Even though I haven't read it, I know what you mean. Even with like Blade Runner
yeah,
2049, the way I mean, there are multiple versions of the first movie, and with each there comes a different interpretation. For example, with like Deckard, in one of the versions, it is more emphasized if he himself is a replicant or not.
yeah,
And Denis Villeneuve still made like this in 2049. He still pulled it off seamlessly to like make each of those previous versions work. So he doesn't, no matter which one you like the most or which is the one you consider, to be the text,
mm-hmm.
the movie would still work, and in
Yeah.
general how he like distills like what made Blade Runner so great in that movie is really fascinating, and he just kind of pulled it off again.
Yeah. Although I think we have to admit that Dune is not that ambivalent as Blade Runner is. But
Probably
still,
not.
but still, you can really interpret many things. Because first and foremost,
Yeah.
Dune is not really, straightforward. There's a lot of subtext and a lot of mystique involved in this film and also in the book.
Yeah.
Some things stay, I guess, hidden. Especially because it's the first part, There's the second part coming out. It has also been greenlighted, by the way, which is super great.
Yeah. Hopefully Denis Villeneuve also directs it, otherwise I would be heavily disappointed.
Yeah. Imagine something like something would happen like with Sicario, because Sicario, the first one, was directed by Denis Villeneuve, and the second one,
Yeah, I know.
He didn't even direct. So I think that, overall the cast will stay the same, and
I didn't even know they planned to make a second one. Honestly.
Yeah, I didn't know it either. But when I guess the main marketing began for this film, it kind of got teased a little bit that this is actually the first part. But Denis Villeneuve's child dream is to make Dune into a movie, and he can't left it undone just by doing the first part.
Yeah.
So
yeah, probably.
He's like kind of
after that success, it is very unlikely that he will step down.
Unless
there's studio interference, of course. But
oh God,
who knows?
Yeah, he's basically bound to this project, and
we should really emphasize how many directors try to do this.
Yeah,
Lynch famously made I guess there was studio interference there. I don't know what the movie actually.
To talk a little bit about Lynch's film. So what I know is that Lynch's original version was actually some 5 or 6 hours long.
Holy, okay.
You can't possibly screen a film that is that long. So what the studio basically did was to cut the movie to cut the movie down to 2 hours, and not only cut it but also market it as a action film. And that is absolutely not Dune, because as you mentioned in the last recording, we unfortunately had to interrupt. The film is highly political.
Yes.
And and also reading the book, you really are getting lots of dialogue, and like what they did in the book was what Frank Herbert actually wrote in the book was he incorporated monologue scenes, a bunch of monologue scenes, and you can't doing monologue scenes in movies is always pretty difficult
to pull it off.
To pull it off, because it's just another medium, and you don't want to have the characters kind of seem to talk to the audience, because because actually they're talking to themselves. And so with that said, Dune is actually really introspective, and lots of things actually happen inside of Paul's mind. And I think the movie still did it quite well, even though it might come off as really subtle. But
I also want to mention, not only did Lynch try to make a Dune movie, Jodorowsky as well famously tried to make one. And there was actually a documentary film about his failed project, basically, and it looks really interesting as well.
Yeah, I heard it too. That the documentary is very interesting because what's his name again?
Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Jodorowsky, he
Yeah.
actually completely insulted Lynch's version and insulted, I think, Denis Villeneuve's version, and he completely had an own version of Dune in his mind, which utterly was diverged from the book. So yeah,
I mean, it looks hella interesting. Like, I love the imagery of it.
Yeah,
I have no idea how it would pan out if I now, because now I obviously have Denis Villeneuve's film in mind. But yeah, I guess what we just want to say is a lot of very famous directors have tried and failed to direct this movie. I think it was even infamous for being being hard to put on screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that just kind of again emphasizes what a great job Villeneuve did.
Do we want to maybe sum up the plot real quick? If it's even possible to sum up the plot real quick, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I will try to. You can. I mean, yeah, I will just probably then look
at the wiki.
Struggle a bit, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So.
Do you want to start? Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
So basically, there's this this drug called a spice.
Yeah.
And it is on one hand, again, like a substance that is just, used as a drug and to maybe, get more, expand your mind, I guess.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you can also use it for interstellar travel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, I guess the navigators of like the ships need that to, safely navigate the ships.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. On that, this is such a weird idea, but I like it.
Yeah. It's so random. It's
really random. Yeah. I mean, okay, you can draw parallels to because spice is then obviously kind of, I guess, like the oil of our earth.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You
but
could say that.
Even more, like, it kind of summarizes everything. It's both substances and hallucinogenics, but also something that is actually needed to make progress, make the tech work and stuff.
And maybe to add some information, so it's a drug and it enhances your mind, because we see Paul having more intense visions when he is exposed to the drugs and so on, and we also see that
he's really sensitive to that. Yeah.
And we also see the Fremen who have actually constant exposure to the spice gain
which is why they gained blue eyes.
Yeah, which they gain blue eyes. And also spice also prolongs your lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a really, really cool benefit of spice, that it basically provides longevity.
Yeah.
And
therefore the Fremen is really a very resilient kind of not cult, just the Fremen are this one group of people on this planet with spice, and other people obviously want to harvest it.
Yeah.
And this is basically where the conflict begins. So the only source of spice is this one desert planet.
Mm-hmm.
And people try to harvest it again, these houses. So it is really weird. It's on the one hand, they are all technically very advanced. On the other, it's kind of still very, I don't know. It feels like Game of Thrones if I think of houses.
Many people.
These, these, nobles and everything.
Yeah,
And
many people actually do draw the comparison between Game of Thrones and how the system in Dune works, how the house system in Dune works. But
yeah,
yeah, Dune came out like how many years before George R. R. Martin wrote Song of Ice and Fire? I don't know, maybe 40 years.
I think less. Wasn't Dune made in like the 60s?
Yes, 66 actually.
It's 65.
65,
but,
yeah, 66, 65, yeah.
Not to correct you. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe George R. R. Martin was inspired by that. I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess that also just brings up the point that this movie, it's not a very conventional science fiction film.
Yeah. No, it's not
But
very
anyway,
conventional, but it's
yeah.
very seminal and it's so influential.
Yeah, very influential is a very good way to put it. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's very infamous even among movie directors to be unfilmable until now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, there were these. I think they are called the House of Harkins.
Harkinans, yeah.
Yeah, the Harkinans. They were usually they are like a very barbaric group of people. Like this house is very barbaric in general, very war focused, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And they were the ones ordered by the emperor to like harvest the spice.
Yeah.
And fight against the Freemen. But then the emperor ordered them to retreat. Such that the other house, the house of Arrakis, wait.
No, House of Atreides.
Atreides. Oh god, these names. Maybe this is also a reason why I don't remember the details, because I'm thinking of, this is Rebecca Ferguson's character. This is Timothée Chalamet's character. Anyway, so yeah, the House of Atreides therefore gets is ordered by the emperor to
take over.
Take over Arrakis, harvest the spice and everything.
Yeah.
But this is all just like a big plot to basically in a coup to like retake Arrakis and destroy the House of Atreides.
Yep.
Yeah. So talking about political intrigue and whatever.
So initially, like also when reading the book, I was kind of confused why the Atreides are to take over the fiefdom of Arrakis, and why like the Emperor and the Harkonnens have such a grudge against the House Atreides. But like after reading further, it turns out that and also this point wasn't really addressed in the movie. It's that the House Atreides is extremely popular among the houses because they're not slimy. They're really,
unlike the House Hakon.
Yeah. Yeah, unlike them.
Oh my god. Can we talk about their look? It's really, I like how the king of them looks
Baron.
like he's so weird.
He's so weird.
Yeah, the Baron.
Yeah. And
he looks really disfigured.
Yeah, he's just absolutely grotesque. So not only visually the two houses differ from each other, but also like morally, because the leader of the House Atreides, played by Oscar Isaac, and he actually he actually is a very good man. We can see that when they fly the omnithopters to the to the mining station, and
he doesn't want to leave the men behind.
Right, and this is a very critical character detail, because he always favors like his people over resources and wealth and stuff.
Yeah, he's
And
also like a very human
yeah,
character. He has at the beginning, he is the father of Chalamet,
yeah,
Timothy Chalamet's character, Paul, which is like the main character of the film. And they have like this father and son talk, and he talks about how he didn't initially wanted to be king
yeah,
or baron, I guess, and how he had other ambitions actually, but then it kind of called to him,
yeah,
and he doesn't try to force anything onto his son or something.
mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
he seems like a good
yeah.
father and a good ruler.
So because the Duke is like such a well regarded man, the Emperor and especially also the Harkonnens and especially the Emperor fear like a imbalance in power. So
Nice.
that's the motivation actually behind eliminating the House Atreides, and also because the army of House Atreides is super powerful. They have Gurney Halleck and Duncan Idaho, played by Josh Brolin and Jason Momoa. So they're like
Yes.
both insanely good fighters, and they're also very well known across, I guess, the universe, the Dune universe. So that's another reason why such power imbalance may arise.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
as Michael said, House Atreides takes over Arrakis. They settle there, and then Paul's journey
Um.
first and foremost begins, and the
Yeah.
massacre.
So he has those dreams, both about this Fremen girl.
Yeah.
He he is actually from his mother's side. There are, um, I guess he's like in this weird breeding program, you could call it, I guess,
Yeah.
and which whose goal it is to like he basically has to become like this messiah figure,
Yeah.
something.
So
And
maybe Michael, I forgot something.
okay, yeah.
People might say, yeah, why doesn't the Duke and the House Atreides just don't go to Arrakis and reject the offer or the instruction of the Emperor? Well, the thing is, the Duke is the only person that sees the potential in the Fremen. So that's why in the
Yeah, yeah,
beginning he says,
right.
on what's the home planet called of the House Atreides? Oh my god.
Caladan.
Oh yes, thanks. On Caladan
Yeah.
we rule by sea and air power, and on
Mhm.
Arrakis we rule by desert power. Something along those lines. So because
Yeah.
the Fremen are incredibly good fighters as well, and the
Yeah.
Duke knows that. And he knows that when, engaging in an alliance with the Fremen,
Yeah.
they are absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I guess it's really important to point out, like the House of Hawkins were really very just vilifying them, so, and always fighting against them, trying to eradicate them. And House Atreides, yeah, as you said, they try to form an alliance with the Fremen and utilize their power and build like this, form like this allegiance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
And the breeding program you just mentioned is incredibly complex. So I don't even get it entirely as well. But the
okay.
thing is, so Rebecca Ferguson plays,
Lady Jessica.
yes, Lady Jessica, the Duke's concubine. And she is basically responsible for furthering the breedings of the cult-like group called the Bene Gesserit, and
Yeah.
The goal of the Bene Gesserit is to essentially breed. I think they intended to breed a girl. They intended to
Mm-hmm.
breed a girl who can essentially see into the future, and by doing that, this person can be in many places all at once. And so Lady Jessica is tasked with this responsibility. But what she does is she actually has a boy with the Duke, which is then, Paul. Because the Bene Gesserit have such incredible control over their own body. This is also super weird that they can control the sex of the child.
I didn't know that. What the heck?
So the Duke wanted a boy. That's why, and because Jessica really loves the Duke, they had Paul, and Paul turns out to be the Kwisatz Haderach, the dude who can be at many places at once. But I'm not sure if they intended to breed a girl or a boy. But I know that Paul was like one generation too early, because actually the Bene Gesserit wanted the child of the Duke and Lady Jessica to actually have another child with another guy who's probably going to play who is going to play a very essential role in the second part. And that resulting child should actually have been the Kwisatz Haderach. But now that Paul exists, the Kwisatz Haderach actually came one generation earlier.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and that is why he had to undergo the Gom Jabbar test in the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there was like this box thing.
Yeah.
And he had to put his hand in there, and basically he was challenged to endure the pain and stay still. Otherwise, the needle that was held up against his neck would like poison him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. That's so fucking complex and weird. Also weird.
Bro, I feel like I'm like the dude who's like he sandworms who pictures.
Wait, come on!
Like talking about the plots, and I'm just like, what?
I mean, you have the book, right? So maybe if you have time, you can read into it. I mean, it's definitely worth your time. Even though, it's hard to really get into this world with no previous knowledge at all. But once you really get into the story and get invested into the characters, it just flows, really. Okay. And also the language of the book is not that old, so it's quite contemporary.
I guess, I'm obligated to read it because someone actually gave it to me as a present, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And so because Paul is the Kwisatz Haderach, he actually gets those sporadic visions of Chani and of the war he's destined to fight, essentially. I mean, that's not a spoiler because like it's in the film, right?
It's in the film. I mean, I guess it's a spoiler for the film, but
for the film, yeah. But I mean, come on, we're doing like, how many episodes did we already record? Maybe 15? No, it's not that many.
Not that many.
Yeah, but it should be like.
We'd probably talk about 24 hours of footage probably already. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my god, one day. I mean, people really have to do like a film podcast marathon, I guess. Oh god. Oh, that's so self-boosting.
I imagine like Clockwork Orange style.
Oh,
just strapped into that chair.
Oh my god!
To listen to that podcast.
Yeah. Kill me, kill me instead. Don't make me listen to this.
Then like a clip a clip to our Tenet podcast and the one comment that criticizes us for not getting it.
Oh my god, yeah, that's the guy who have to torture, or that has to be tortured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely still watches us.
Well, we hope so, I guess.
I guess.
Um,
Yeah. I guess we should also talk about like the other powers they have. So like, I don't know what this thing is. I can only describe it as deep voice that suddenly makes you commanding things. Right?
Yeah, that's essentially the core of it.
Like, what is the name of this?
It's really called just the voice.
The voice,
Yeah.
right. Voice of Germany.
The voice of Germany. But, something as silly as this is actually, implemented quite well, I would say.
I mean, it's kind of like the Force.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Force. But, everything that has to do with voices that get kind of altered is, in essence, always somehow silly. And when I first...
It's better than Bane.
It's better than Bane.
I was born in it.
I was born in it. Oh my god.
Doctor.
I was born in it.
Yeah. Oh god.
So when Paul first uses the voice on his mother, I was like I was kind of shocked because I didn't expect that. But once you because the voice is actually used quite a few times, in the movie, right?
Yeah. I mean, they need to like. Do we want to attempt to like talk about the plot? I think we will fail, or at least I will fail, or we go briefly through it.
Okay,
otherwise, we're going to jump right now.
Okay. Let's just go briefly through the plot. I mean, we just left off where House Atreides took over Arrakis.
Right.
So, while Paul is studying the planet and having like visions, they actually so the house actually recognizes the danger they're in because the Harkinans like planted several sabotages,
like these drones, right?
Yeah, the drone, what's it?
Like these little insect things that are also robots.
Yeah, the killer, hunter killer, I think it's called.
Can we also talk about like those airships are cool.
Yeah.
But they are so impractical.
You mean with the wings?
With the wings, what the heck? It's like literally if you have an insect, like a bee, just buzzing there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it has, it
didn't bother me. It just looked funny.
It looks really funny. But really, really like how they are described in the book. So that's like a big plus to get these ornithopters right. And, and so another very crucial scene is that, another key sabotage is that they, kind of destroyed one side of the, what's it called? The spice mining transporter.
Yeah.
The carry-all, right? They destroyed one side of the carry-all, such that the spice mining station, is left for the worm to be eaten. And this is actually the first time we, sense the presence of the worm. And also the first time we see Paul getting heavy visions because everywhere is spice. So he's completely exposed to spice.
Basically, he's constantly high.
He's constantly high. He's on a trip the whole
time.
Surrounded
by. I imagine like the real world analog would be like a person, like the air completely filled with cocaine.
Oh god! Oh my god! Yeah. And after that, the movie actually picks up because then we see the Harkonnens engage in the secret
combat.
Engage in the secret alliance with the Emperor's army, the Sardaukar, which are so badass.
Like also what's the character from Guardians? He doesn't look out of place. Also Jason Momoa.
Dave Bautista.
They all fit.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
like, he acts like this bald, kind of really hot-headed nephew of the Baron. And it makes sense that he acts so honorably and also very fightingly, kind of like a Klingon, I guess, or Star Trek.
I have never seen Star Trek, but I can imagine what they're like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then they invade the House of Atreides, so their the headquarters in essence.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Baron gets the Duke.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Duke gets killed.
Yeah.
By actually one of the Met guys.
Yeah.
That one Chinese dude.
Yeah, the Suk doctors.
Yeah. Because his wife.
Yeah.
Also mother. Just kidding.
Oh my god.
His wife is being tortured and held captive by like the House of Harkinans. Yeah. And they promised him that if he does that, he will get back. But still he knew I don't know. Did he know that he will be betrayed anyway? Because he gives like to the Duke like this drug to like kill them all.
So yeah, I think in his mind it's essentially a suicide mission. Yeah. Because he knows that first of all, his priority is to free his wife from all the pain. So he basically knows that the wife is going to die anyway, but he just wanted to accelerate the process. And second of all, he dies anyway. So if he doesn't betray the Duke, he dies.
He would die. Yeah.
If he betrays the Duke, he dies anyways. So, with the Duke, he actually has a chance to kill the Baron. So in this case, he actually made the right decision.
I'm just asking about motivational things.
Yeah.
If he it seemed silly that he would still believe to get his wife back because, the House of Harkonnens are all kind of pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without exception, by the way. There's like no good guy. They're all bad. They're really bad.
Yeah. They're like House of Slytherin. What you're saying. Just kidding. So basically, the House of Atreides gets overrun by like House of Harkonnens and then the Emperor's army.
Yeah.
They capture the mortally wounded Duke.
Yes.
The Duke, using that thing from that mad doctor.
The Suk doctor, bro.
Whatever.
Mad doctor. He's a mad scientist.
He's a mad scientist. He basically just like he gets his capsule to like kill them.
Yeah.
He nearly killed all of them except like the Baron, because the Baron is this weird guy who just kind of then it's really, he's fat and he can fly and he has a long rope, so it looks like he is like this I don't know, it's like he's like a
fucking snake.
Like a fucking snake or something. Really disgusting, and he kind of just clinged on his life, like at the one vent, I guess.
Yeah. He was literally clinging on his life.
Yeah, literally. And yeah, the Duke dies. Lord Jessica and Paul escape.
Yeah.
Wait,
did you just say Lord Jessica?
Lady Jessica.
Lord Jessica.
I mean, the Baron just died, so the Duke just died, so I guess Lord.
Yeah.
Duke and Lady Jessica.
Yeah.
And Paul escape, because technically they should have only been held captive, right? Because they don't actually, I don't know, it's because of an oath, right? Or the Emperor wanted them alive, right?
I'm not sure, actually. I think they wanted them dead, to be honest.
But no. I remember like the House of Harkonnens would then instantly kill them, but they don't. They were like, well, if we don't kill them, we could just put them in the forest. Then we don't technically have killed them, right? Mm-hmm. Like they wanted to like fly them away to like get eaten by sandworms. which we haven't emphasized are fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like, these are no joke. It's literally like in SpongeBob when Sandy thought she had the tongue, and it's much bigger. But this,
Yeah.
and it's really,
Oh my god. Yeah. Nice example.
like, they're really huge. Holy shit, like, they can eat the whole, like the harvesting vehicles for
Yeah.
spice are gigantic, like 50 meters high or something. And it's just getting, like 20 probably. And it's just getting eaten away by the sandworm that has no face.
Yeah.
Like, with all of these fibers in it. Ugh. It's really creepy.
It's really creepy, yeah.
Yeah. And, okay. Anyway, Lady Jessica and Paul escape because they have the voice. And then they get on a journey to, like, go to the Fremen. With which, the Duke attempted to do an allegiance, but they obliged, right? Like, whose character? It was Javier Bardem's character,
you mean,
right?
yeah, Stilgar.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's basically was like, oh my god, I didn't also expect like that kind of humorous scene with him literally spitting, and that being considered, friendly.
Yeah, friendly. That scene actually threw me off too, because it's actually a really serious scene. But but Jason Momoa, I don't know, he plays his character really well, but sometimes I think he
plays it like he's a Marvel hero.
Yeah, yes. I mean, he's kind of the greatest fighter in the universe.
So I guess that's that, yeah.
At least he says that in an interview. But sometimes he just kind of, his facial expressions a little bit off. So sometimes he's smirking a little bit. And especially in that scene, which is so important to introduce the Fremen culture and stuff, it just kind of, it has a funny tone to it. And I didn't really like it, because this is very important to the Fremen, and the reason why they're spitting as greeting is because there's like water sparsity on the planet, obviously because it's a desert planet.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and
it's really
it's
something.
Yeah, and
you continue.
Yeah, and every single gesture or action that involves, giving away moisture from your body is considered to be extremely, polite and extremely well regarded, because they don't consider it as spitting; they consider it as giving moisture to you, like showing you I'm ready to, give you something so essential that my body needs, that without it I die essentially.
Dang. That makes sense. I guess it's then, but that's like the compromise you have to make if you make that movie. You can't explain every detail.
Yeah.
And sometimes it then feels like an odd thing that is then played for laughs rather than something that has like a reason, I guess.
I mean, we can appreciate that the Fremen culture is actually, dealt with in the movie. Because in Lynch's film, or in the studio film, from 1984, the Fremen are simply just mindless people who have blue eyes and just happen to be on that planet. And nothing that kind of, so their culture and their values, they're not even talked about or addressed. So this is like a crime. This is like really criminal. If you are going to make a Dune adaptation, something like this has to be involved. And and Villeneuve fortunately did it.
I mean, I guess it looks a bit silly how brightly blue their eyes are.
Yeah.
Like, but if you're a drug like that, I guess, if like you're constantly used to it.
Yeah, something like this could happen then.
I guess. Anyway, so they get to like the Fremen, but they are not. Wait, no, they don't. They're not they don't immediately go there, right? They first go to like the meteorologist, like the biologist.
Yeah. Although, yeah.
Right.
And the ecologist? Yeah.
Ecologist. Yeah.
Ecologist.
Who was also accepted as a Fremen, but also works for the Emperor.
Yes.
I guess as a mediator, you could say.
Absolutely. She is a mediator. She is the judge of change. So what she's doing essentially is whenever like the houses change or a new house takes over Arrakis, she has the responsibility to introduce the house to the ongoings on the planet.
Yes.
That's why
yeah.
That's why she accompanies. Yeah, that's why she guides the Duke, Gurney, Paul to the spice mining station and explains essentially, for instance, when the worm is coming, how to sense the worm, and how spice mining is actually done. So that's her role. And you also mentioned it. Yes, she is accepted in both worlds, as she said herself in the movie.
Yeah.
But
not for long, because then she basically betrays the Emperor by helping the two. And it turns out that Jason Momoa's character is actually alive, I guess because he is or was the greatest fighter in the whole universe. And not to foreshadow, but don't get too used to him. Which I guess you could, I don't know. I think one of Kiwi said that she called it when he was still alive, but it wasn't so, I mean, it was kind of obvious, I guess, because you didn't see him die. Anyway, but like the Emperor guys follow them. There's a fight. Jason Momoa's character dies. And, so it's like, it's one of the, I guess, main action scenes if you're looking for those. And,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Then they were before like the planetologist, whatever, guides them. Before she dies, she guides them to the Fremen, and then they are trying to get accepted. And we actually see then Shani, like the girl from Paul's dreams.
Yes, played by Zendaya.
Yeah, and then he has to like fight against one of the Fremen to get accepted, because one of them doesn't want them to be accepted, because obviously, if you know, water is very, as you said, it's a desert planet. There's not much water. You can't help everyone. And
yes.
It would be more beneficial if they killed them and drink their blood and stuff. Which is also really, I mean, it makes sense. It's just
that's
brutal.
The reason, yeah. So that's one of the reasons. Another very key reason is that the guy who challenges Paul to fight, Yamis, Yamis, I think his name was. Yeah.
He had a name?
Yeah, he had a name, and and he actually wanted to challenges him because Paul stole his weapon, and he basically, kind of fighted him off and won the little fight they had, and so he felt kind of violated. He felt his pride violated, and that's one of the reasons also why he wanted to fight Paul, to restore his pride for himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess that didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work.
I mean, that scene was also weird because during the fight, Paul's voice wants him to not get emotional, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. Is it to interpret it like that the voice in himself says that he should not, basically guides him how to fight off the other dude? Or is it more like, if you kill him, you will die yourself or something? Like in his destiny. How is that to be interpreted?
I think that's a really good segue in I guess, into the deeper levels
Yeah,
of Dune,
because then basically the film ends
yeah,
with them being accepted.
right. And here we can actually like a blockbuster. I don't know. Yeah, you can call Dune a blockbuster, I guess. A
Yeah, you
blockbuster,
can.
a blockbuster like Dune. You know, if such a blockbuster ends in this, for many people, anticlimactic way, they get really frustrated. But I think this ending section, or this entire film that results in this small but really significant fight between Paul and this other guy who we've never seen before, actually is such a good way of telling Paul's story and reminding the audience, no, that it's not about actually, action and fighting and the houses clash and people die. No, it's actually really about Paul and his inner journey. Because in this last fight, we also see Paul, struggling not to kill off Yamis. Because as Jessica says, Paul has never killed a person before, so he's not used to it. But when killing Yamis, he, indirectly tells us and tells himself that he's ready to actually embrace this role that is destined for him, that has been planted on Arrakis by the Bene Gesserit. Because this is another thing we forgot to mention. When Paul arrives on Arrakis, the inhabitants chant Muad'Dib. And Muad'Dib is translated to the voice of the outer world. And this is actually a seed that had been planted by the Bene Gesserit generations before. So what they told the people was, a Messiah figure is going to come to your planet and save you all. They will
free you
from this hardship, from this environmental circumstances. And they see in Paul this figure, right? And so he has to deal with it. And before this fight, we see him really struggle. He has like he doesn't have one identity. He has two identities. So the first one is, of course, he's still Paul. He's the son of the Duke. Actually, just a normal person, or not necessarily normal.
Who's also a prince.
Yeah, not necessarily normal, but he doesn't see himself as the Messiah. But then his second identity, which he's really pushed into, is the people that pressure him. This external pressure they exert on him really forms his second identity. So this Messiah figure, which we see him embrace in this vision scene, where he fights in this golden suit. That looked very CGI heavy, by the way. It didn't really look good, that scene. So if you know this as a viewer, you see the film totally in a different light, I think.
Okay. It probably does help if you know where the journey is heading. Yeah. Because I did feel like I didn't hate the ending, and it did feel a bit anticlimactic. I guess, as you said, it makes sense for his character development because he finally accepts, I guess, his role.
Yes.
But there were multiple times where I was like, okay, does it end here before they meet the Fremen, and now the next film would end with them meeting them or something like that? It felt a bit, I don't know, like there were many different ways where it could have ended already.
Yeah, I thought so too, actually.
Yeah.
One thing that we also forgot to mention is the absolute key scene of Paul and Jessica navigating the ornithopter through the sandstorm.
Right. Yeah. So when they escape, like the House of Harkins's soldiers, they like Paul was actually flying through it, right?
Yes.
So he was navigating, and he was listening to his voice, I guess. I don't exactly remember.
Yeah, he was
To
listening
like
to
guide. Yeah, because he flew into it to
yeah.
like you know, escape the ones that were following them, like the other, you know, people from House of Hawkins, and float dangerously into that desert tornado, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, or yeah.
And this is like really, really important scene because this plays into this litany that is really essential for Dune.
Okay.
And Jessica in the beginning reiterates the litany against fear, where Paul is undergoing this test and basically fighting for his life, and his mother is like reiterating this litany, which says, "I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little
Okay.
death that brings total obliteration. I will
Yeah, which is
face."
actually the same thing. Wasn't that also
Yeah,
what he
he
heard
said
during the fight at the end? So
yes.
like these are all, I guess, cornerstones of when he grows as a person.
Yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
it continues with, I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over and through me,
Mm-hmm.
which he does when, passing through the sandstorm.
Yeah.
And, and when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing, only I will remain. So the scene with the sandstorm is actually, if you see it visually, it's an obstacle. But in the uh, when you see it from a perspective of character development, it's like really, literally letting fear pass through you, which is the sandstorm, which is the
Mm-hmm.
the one of the antagonistic elements of this film, because Ericus is in essence the antagonist, with its really
Yeah.
cruel environment, that is
Also, like
extremely,
sandworms
yeah,
again, which are actually what also makes the Fremen, I guess, really resilient is also that they are able to control the sandworms, to use them as
yes, yes,
method of travel,
yeah,
which the others don't have. And
yeah,
I guess that's also like probably one of the things Paul will learn to
yeah,
control them. I mean, I'm just guessing, but as
yeah. I
it
mean,
sounds probability that it will go there.
it's a good guess because before Liet Kynes gets killed, so the ecologist, we
Mm-hmm.
actually see her pulling out like two what are they called?
Like these, I guess these vibrating things.
Yeah, the
Vibrators.
the thumper to
The
attract
thumper.
the
Yeah.
thumper to attract the worm,
Yeah.
and the two oh god, what's it called? Hooks. Yeah, right, the two hooks.
Mm.
But so that you need those hooks to actually ride the sandworms. But before we
Yeah.
actually see it, she gets killed.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not in vain because obviously because of the thumping, the others are then faced with the sandworm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And in the end, we also see like people, like one guy at least riding the sandworm, just really
Mm-hmm.
vaguely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah.
Mm, yeah. Okay. Where do we begin?
I think we have already begun. Like,
Yeah. But where are we now?
where are we now? We can just talk about some scenes.
Yeah.
We never have a structure.
No.
What we do is sometimes we sum up the plot, sometimes we just don't, and then we just talk really about the movie, about scenes that come to our mind.
Don't tell them about our secret. No, just kidding. Yeah. Yeah, mostly. It's just really, again, I don't think about individual, uh, things when I think about this movie back. I think about like, how like the score had like this, I don't know, did it feel Egyptian to you?
Okay, yeah, the score. Uh, Mm,
It felt
I
like it
see
felt
where you're
like
coming from. I see where you're coming from.
yeah, like with these
Drums,
I don't
maybe.
know, not the drums, also like the big giant chords between I think it's D major and B and B minor nine B flat major, like this, I don't know, like this chord progression is very reminiscent of such things for me,
Mm-hmm.
like to get like the sense of awe and bigness.
Yes, yes. Um,
uh
yeah. The score is like it's. I'm not. I don't really think it's really completely different from what Hans Zimmer usually does. It has an epicness to it, no doubt. Mm, but it's
yeah, but
not
like
like, you know, it's not like Inception epic.
yeah,
It's not like
yeah,
completely destroying your ears or something. And it's also, I think
well,
it's so often I don't know if you agree with me, but sometimes I feel like Hans Zimmer's music is just to elevate the epicness, you know, just to make you
yeah.
to make the scene more awe-inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I think it did serve that purpose
yeah,
here. Like it did enhance it in that way.
yeah, but also I think it really just um kind of introduced more tension, more suspense. I really like
Mm.
the drums, you know, just dun, and then it's
Yeah,
silent, then dun. This is like fucking awesome. It's so
it
fucking
is.
awesome, man.
I
Yeah.
forgot that part. Right. Yeah, that was like, for example, when they did like the raid, right?
Yes.
Against yeah.
Yes. And also there was like one scene which 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 reminded me of that one scene in Sicario. Do you remember the section where in
Spoilers for
Sicario?
Sicario.
Yes, but it's not that spoiler. They just fly with the helicopter over
Over
Mexican
the over
ground.
Mexican City,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
and
then Johan Johansson's score, "The Beast,"
mhm.
is playing. Like this really ominous sound.
Mm.
Um, um, with just people flying the helicopter over Mexican land, over Mexican territory, uh,
Yeah.
which is in itself not really, that ominous, I guess, but it kind of extremely fits. And in this film, in
Yeah, I mean,
Dune,
it paints a picture of like
yeah,
the crime and
the
like
corruption.
corruption that's
Yeah.
happening there. Yeah,
In Dune, we have a similar scene where when they arrive on Arrakis, they fly with a helicopter
right.
over the city, you know, over
Hmm.
Arrakeen.
And
And
of course, there's also not necessarily corruption, but distrust because
distrust. Oh my God,
the
yes.
Fremen, you know, they are not at the beginning at least peacefully. You know, for
Yes.
them it's just like another house that's going to try to eradicate them.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
distrust, unfamiliarity,
Hmm.
which actually lays the foundation for distrust, essentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, just a feeling of, this is a one-way journey we're doing. There's no going
Hmm.
back to Caledon. Um,
Hmm.
and maybe a foreshadowing what's about to come, you know?
Yeah.
Like really
Yeah.
foreboding.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. And yeah, so like in terms of sound, this movie is just as immersive as visually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the voice is a bit silly, but it can't be done.
Yeah.
Also, it's impossible to make it not in some way silly
Yeah.
because that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, okay, they did use the boom, that the big bass sounds
Mm-hmm.
very often. I mean, I guess that's a bit exaggerate, a bit redundant, but I guess that's just movies today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, maybe to talk about another silly thing to like, transition. We haven't said, I mean, we talked about like the sandworms and like this is a desert planet, but the Fremen have their own way of like, not barging into the sandworms by walking like the wind.
God damn, yeah. It's so great.
It does look silly though.
It does really look silly, but if you, like, those things, those details really complete the world, or just add detail to the world and make it even more spirited.
Yeah, it's good that you said that. It's a very spiritual film. Like we have that Messiah aspect. We have like
not spiritual, but spirited. Like it's really lively, and you can really get into the world. You know this word?
Okay, you mean like that? Yeah.
Yeah, you can imagine a word like this existing outside of the film. It has depth. It's just not, oh my god, it's a cool world visually. But the characters that live in this world...
There's purpose for why it is like that, yeah.
Yeah. And there's interaction between the inhabitants and the world.
Yeah, I also like the suit. Like the design of the suit.
Yes.
Yeah. How they also use like condensed water in it.
Yes.
Like, isn't there some kind of system with like the sweat and everything?
Yes.
That was great too.
So great, yeah.
Yeah.
And, cool that you addressed the sand work. Because, I
mean, how could I not?
How could
something
you
they
not?
constantly do.
Yeah. I mean, they only mention it once, right? Just by...
But they do it a lot of... they do it, several times in the movie, right?
I think only one time. And that's another cool thing that the movie does. So we see Paul in the beginning studying the planet, right? So he sees videos about the sand walk.
Holograms.
Holograms, yeah.
Hologram.
Holograms. About the sandworms, the sand walk. Just little creatures that live on this planet. Which, by the way... is so the specific creature that is shown is this little sand mouse, and this and this little sand mouse is actually called I think
chinchilla.
Oh wait, I have to Google it. So I think I said before that Muad'Dib meant voice of the outer world, but I think the sand mouse is called Muad'Dib, and later on oh my god, and later on Paul is called Paul Muad'Dib because of the sand mouse, but the voice of the outer world is called
it's weird though how, I mean, all of these things, like also the sand walk, it sounds silly in concept, but they really, even though it looks a bit silly in the movie, it works.
Yeah.
You get it. It all fits.
Yes.
I mean, we also could talk about the architecture. It's also very, very, how should I say, distinct. Of like,
So the voice from the outer world is called Lisan al-Gaib. Not Muad'Dib.
Right.
Not Muad'Dib.
Right.
Yeah, I messed that up. God, oh my god, when people get to that section and then they don't listen to the podcast to the end, I'm gonna stand there like a fucking idiot. God damn it. But I guess, I mean, we're 100% transparent, right? So no cutting.
Yeah, no cutting, just raw.
Just raw.
Just raw. Like,
yeah. So what did you mention again?
The architecture.
Yeah, the architecture is like, I heard people say that the look of the film and especially the architecture looks bland, but
No, I don't agree.
Yeah,
like, I mean, it looks grandiose as hell.
Grandiose as fuck.
Like, for example, when in the on Caladan, when like the ship levitates from like the water. It looks so good. I can't emphasize how good it looks.
Yes.
And also, what ship? There's a big giant ship in space with like this, that is like shaped like a donut.
Donut, yes.
Like a stretched donut.
Yeah.
What is that ship? Whose ship is it?
I have no idea. I don't think it's a ship. I think it's like a pathway, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, this is like a thing that one of many things that I still don't know what the fuck this is.
Okay.
Yeah. And dude, how can you call like Dune bland? I mean, okay, it's like not
I
really
get
saturated.
boring.
Yeah, I get boring. It's not really saturated, but
Mm.
consider the setting, man. Consider the setting. They're on a sand planet. Sand is bland, and but
It's coarse
of course,
and it gets everywhere.
and it gets everywhere. And even though the look looks bland, it has weight to it.
I
It
wouldn't
has
call.
like
I
a
wouldn't call it bland.
purpose. It has
Yeah.
purpose, like
On the sand planet,
yeah,
Arrakis mostly. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I also like. When do you see like a fat guy that can levitate, that is very, white skin ish,
yeah.
like an albino, kind of like
Yes.
drowning in
In fucking mud, black
fluid.
ink, dude.
Yeah, like in like viscous ink
yeah,
to heal himself. Like what about this movie is bland, bro?
yeah,
Like this is not your typical. I mean, it's not something like it doesn't try to steal like with the neon lights or anything from Blade
Yeah.
Runner or something.
yes,
Like I don't get it. It looks good. It looks lived in.
yes,
I also like the little touches of like I mean we don't get too much interaction with the Fremen, except for those things you mentioned like at the beginning that they would call out to Paul and everything, but also like in the I guess palace where there are these trees that
yes,
get that where a person waters them even though he knows it's wasteful.
yes.
Like these little touches, like neat touches to make this world feel lived in.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
so great.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. The water scene it actually is really insignificant when you look at it, but yeah,
Yeah, like I mean, I'm just talking. It's not like complete. It's not like
I mean, it's like an
you know,
everyday, an
yeah.
everyday interaction that makes
Not
this
everything
world
has to serve something. It's
Yeah.
good to have things around it.
Yeah, but it's still purposeful. It's still
Yeah.
purposeful in a way, and yeah.
I mean, would you say the movie? I don't know. I get I couldn't say I would not say that I would relate to any of the characters. Like they are just, I guess, these interesting people whose journey I am with.
I mean, they're really abstract for once.
Yeah.
Timothy
Timothy Chalamet's like face
so-
always looks a
Okay.
bit monotonous.
Yeah, he looks a little bit distant the whole time,
Yeah.
but that's his characteristic, and
Yeah.
I
'Cause,
can
Rebecca Ferguson seems more emotional. Like, she cares about him.
I just
and,
wanted
like,
to say
her
that.
mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet is like he's playing his character very
Yes.
subtly, which is so great because Paul is a reserved character. He's not loud or anything. He's more of an observer, and the inner struggle he undergoes and is extremely You really have to be with the film and make your own like visual image of Paul's world, because in the tent, especially in the tent, the scene where he has this outbreak where he shouts at his mother that what she has done to him is absolutely unacceptable. I think he says something like look what you've done to me, you Bene Gesserit witch. And that's like a moment. So yeah, I can see where he's coming from, man. I understand him somewhat, even though I'm not a prince and I don't have the superhuman powers like him. But
yeah,
I
like
mean,
this
the
large
pressure,
responsibility. Yeah.
just the pressure that someone just tries to mold you into this role that you cannot escape it, and that soon,
it's very deterministic.
and that soon people will die under your name.
And your father already.
And your father had already died. Yeah, it's just damn.
Like your whole world, like with your house, is dead.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. Jessica is actually, for me, also the one person that I related the most. Especially the scene where the Duke asks Jessica to protect his son. And then Jessica replies, "With all my life." And then Leto says, "I'm not talking to the mother. I'm talking to the Bene Gesserit." You know? So if Jessica were a real Bene Gesserit, you know, she wouldn't give two fucks about Paul as a Bene Gesserit, because as a Bene Gesserit, Paul in her eyes is just a device with which to fulfill the destiny, the goal of this cult, you know, to breed this Kwisatz and everyone involved in this process, everyone involved in this breeding program is just there, has just one function, to fuck, you know, essentially. So so Jessica actually plays like, has like two moral compasses, right? And I think it's so interesting. And in this film, you can see that her moral compass, her motherly moral compass, actually outweighs that of the Bene Gesserit. And this is something I really like, because even though the Bene Gesserit are depicted in the film as really cold and scrupulous, she is like, she has a heart, and you can see that just by her performance, by Rebecca Ferguson's performance.
Yeah, that's true. Although I would say, I mean, if she already gave birth to Paul instead of like a girl, it already shows that she has a side of her side being Bene Gesserit.
Yeah.
I didn't see it that way. It's really interesting to talk about the different levels of enjoyments. Yeah.
Yeah. What can we talk about like further? I think we don't have that long anymore. Maybe like 10 minutes or so. Maybe we can wrap it up. I think I really liked this episode somehow, because I felt like it was kind of compact. You know, it was dense, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's
not to suck our dicks.
What?
Not to like self-congratulate. Yeah, not to congratulate, I guess.
I mean, compared to the other episodes, we definitely talked less. But I think, it's because we have this time limit, I guess, because we're going to actually watch 007, A No Time to Die, later on in an hour roughly.
No time to podcast.
No time to podcast. So yeah, we have this time limit, and didn't really diverge. But I mean, I'm sure we could have talked like an hour more, just about things related to this movie.
Yeah, I bet you would have taught me a lot in the 1 hour, and I would listen not, and would be reflecting on my enjoyment.
No, that's not true, because I'm actually really glad that you fucking like this film, and that you have, you know, that you imagine your, like, have own thoughts, because that's one thing that is also cool. If you haven't read the book, you're not really limited by previous knowledge, so you can speculate so much more, as opposed to having read the book and knowing exactly what this is and what this is not, you know. So
that's true. Yeah, I mean, in general, it was a good idea, I guess, to have like two different perspectives. I guess it's fortunate that we have two different perspectives.
Yes.
Like, yeah. Then I guess we wrap it up.
So you gave the film 4.5 stars, right?
I gave it actually 5, but I'm
really?
Considering.
Oh my god! No! Wait. You gave it 5?
I think so.
Okay, that's insane.
I mean,
I thought,
I hella enjoyed it.
yeah.
I like science
Dude,
fiction. I'm a sucker for this. I
dude,
actually
oh my
watched
god.
another science fiction film, and I was just like, oh man, if I wouldn't like this stuff, I would give it a much lower score for the other movie, but not this. And I was like, yeah, just thinking to myself, oh god, okay, this Dune, yeah, in comparison,
Yeah, hold
is
on.
yeah,
Hold on. So, yeah, it's been a month, right?
yeah, it's been a month. Why do you
What?
think I
Wait,
barely
wait,
remember?
wait, what? I can't believe it's been like 2 months
Two
almost.
months since we watched like the movie?
You
No
watched
way.
Dune on September 23rd,
Oh my
and we
god.
we have November 21st.
Don't make me
Wait,
existential
wait,
like that.
this is like different. I can't believe this. No, it's actually, what the hell?
No
It's been two
wonder.
months since
Yeah,
Dune has come out?
I
What
guess.
the hell, man? It's not fair. And we
What is
watched
not fair?
and we
What
watched
I
French Dispatch 3 weeks ago?
Yes? Yes, we did.
Yo, oh my god. Yeah, time has to slow down, man. This is like too much, to be honest.
Okay. Too much.
Okay, but yeah, you gave it
Much time to
5.
waste.
Much time to waste. Yeah, you gave it 5 stars, which is
Yeah,
cool.
I
And
figured.
you give Squid Game 3.5, which is also cool. Because
Yeah,
then we're probably
I
on
know
the,
what you I know
yeah,
what you gave it.
yeah, and then probably, yeah, we were on the same wavelength then.
Yeah.
And yeah, Chang-Chi 4 stars. Damn, yeah. Okay, that's
Are you just
cool.
kind of going through all the things I watched?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Okay.
kind of surprised by,
How much
um,
has passed?
no, by, yeah, this, of course, and by by your rating for Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I
Cool.
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I
then,
mean, what to
yeah.
say? It's a good movie. It's solid. It is not bland. I
Mm-hmm.
like, Tony Leung is just a good actor.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
always enjoyable. Also as a villain, even though at the end he was a bit stupid.
Yeah.
Like, the ending I didn't like as much, but the rest
Mm-hmm.
was really good.
Oh my god. That kind of gets me really excited for the next episode. Because then, yeah.
Here we
Because
have a
then,
lot to talk about, I guess.
yeah, I guess we can then talk about Inglourious Bastards, French Dispatch, Shang-Chi. Maybe, I don't know
Right.
if we should do a episode about Squid Game. Because I think
We
Squid
could.
Game is like, yeah, I think
I mean, we talked
we
about Dune. Like, that's the most talked about thing ever, I guess.
yeah, in a way, yes. But like Dune is, I would say, like, I think we would agree that Dune is on another level than Squid Game. And also
Yeah. I
Squid
mean, they
Game,
tried different things.
yeah, and Squid Game is like this mainstream Netflix show
From Korea.
from
Nobody expected
Korea.
that.
Yes.
Nobody expected, like, that success in general.
And yeah, I guess we can also say that, yeah, one thing I wanted to mention before we close this one. Denis
Hmm?
Villeneuve has shown time to time again that he can balance um, art house cinema with blockbuster cinema.
Yeah, I
And I
agree.
think this is like this is like really perfect. Because for one, you're challenging the audience, and secondly, you entertain the audience. And that's actually the best thing I personally think one can do.
Mm.
And so yeah, that's just a random thought that just came into my mind about
Yeah,
Denis
I mean,
Villeneuve.
I agree.
Yeah,
I have nothing more to add to that. He's a goat.
he's yeah, effing goat.
Effing goat. He better not fuck up the next one,
No
or I will
man,
kill him
no.
personally. I will
Oh.
send a sandworm after him.
Oh,
Or
God.
attach a thumper
A
on
thumper
like
on
on
his
like
head.
his yeah. God.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Then maybe let's close this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you for
God.
listening.
Yeah, thank you
What?
for listening. Yeah, I just wanted to say maybe we should just let's do a Denis Villeneuve marathon or something.
We could. Which I don't know which movie. Do you mean like watch every movie again? Also the
No,
ones we rewatch. Oh, okay.
not necessarily,
Just
but
the ones
like
that we
I
haven't
just
seen.
yeah maybe just like talk about just like episodes like this where we focus on one film and just really just talk about everything that gets into our head about this film.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just right now I'm just scrolling through Denis Villeneuve's filmography, and somehow I just really want to talk about Arrival, for instance, or
Oh, I
Blade
would love to
Runner.
talk about
Yeah,
Arrival and Blade Runner. Man, I love these.
yeah.
I've seen
I
also
mean,
a lot of great
I mean,
thing.
you
Yeah.
saw both of the movies in cinema, right?
Hmm?
You saw.
No, I didn't. I watched Arrival on flight.
Oh yeah, but Blade Runner, you
Blade Runner
saw.
I did watch. Yeah,
Yeah,
actually.
in cinema.
Yeah. With a school friend.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
All right. Before we ramble on to 90 minutes and then full runtime of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Then
Uh,
yeah. Yeah. Thanks again for listening.
Yeah. Thanks again for listening.
And
Be
see
prepared
you.
for some Denis Villeneuve movies and other stuff we have planned that we hopefully will come to.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Then see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.